Chakari mangalam ayanta mangalam sita mangalam sahu mangalam kiri mangalam guru mangalam chakari nukutuma ayanta nukutuma sita nukutuma sahu nukutuma kiri mangalam nukutuma chakari saranam bhujani yanti saranam bhujani siddhi saranam bhujani sahu saranam bhujani kiri mangalam nukutuma char saranam mangalam guccham jeta eva sagar jeta tare sakala dharmanamani anta mokshana suryanam Brahma Mukti Jai Samstara Manikaram Chara Avar Saranami Purnari Samchara Adri Akshaya Purnakam Purnoi Angutri Mratavase Lagdi Tana Bandar Yasi Guru Gautamane Smari Sarai
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ujjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Eso Panchanamukaro Savva Pava Panasno Manglalancha Savve Singh Padamam Hoyamanglam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityan Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Cheva Omkaraya Namo Nama Nama Samay Saraya Swanu Bhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimira Andanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmay Sri Guruve Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Saranasau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarutene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Yapya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Hum Ekasuddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darsanamaya Kare Kayanyate Maharujari Paramanu Matra Nati Are Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Shri Suddha Mane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. So today this is February 16, 2016, and we'll be continuing our discussion on substance. We were talking about substance, and there are a few slides are remaining, so we'll go through that, and thereafter we'll just go to another topic. Let me bring the slide up. Substance, JSP. Okay, here we are at this point. So we discussed so much about substance in general. Their substance means dravya, that we are talking in general aspect, means it includes soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of race, space and time. Jeev, Pudgal, Dharmastikai or Dharmastikai, Akash and Kal. So all those 6 substances, we are just talking generality of those things. And So there are several points are common in these 6 universal substances. So now we are going to go through those 6 universal substances and those common features that they have it. What are those common features? That's what we'll try to understand here. So I have to bring these things down, I guess. Okay, so existence of a substance. A substance does exist. And how long it exists? It's existing eternally. So it's called satpana. Satpana means sat dravya lakshanam. Sat is a characteristics, eternal existence is a characteristics of a given substance. A given substance is existing since time infinite. There is nothing to create this substance or nothing to destroy this substance. We are talking substance. Remember, substance we are talking, which is an eternal substance. I'm the sole substance. I was never created, will never be destroyed. I remain forever. This one, this bone has an infinite amount of matter particles, matter atomic particles. And each atomic particle was never created, will never be destroyed. So there is an existence, eternal existence of any given substance at a given time. So that's one first common thing that every substance has. All the 6 substances, they're eternally existing. Then what comes next is a origination, cessation, and constancy is the nature of existence. In the first bullet, we saw that there is an existence is the characteristics of a given substance, eternal existence. And what is this eternal existence made up of? It has 3 parts: origination, cessation, and constancy. Utpad, Vyay, and Dhrav Yuktam Sat. This one says Sat Dravya Lakshanam. These are the definitions, Sat Dravya Lakshanam and Utpad by Dhrav Yuktam Sat. These are the definition given in Tattvat Sutra, which was close to 2000 years back. Acharya Umaswatiji wrote down, and this Tattvat Sutra is considered to be the Jain main scripture in which any Jain all over the world, he will believe this Tattvat Sutra written by Umaswatiji. So, Sat Dravya Lakshanam means eternal existence of a substance. And second thing is that eternal existence has origination, cessation, and constancy. Means this eternal existence has 2 forms. One is constancy, which remains forever, and one is transiency, which shows in the form of utpat and vyay, origination and cessation. Means one is showing the nature of a substance, and second shows that there are modes in a given substance, and they are transient in nature. Remember the ocean example we have taken? Ocean is constant. It is stable, it is immutable, it is permanent. And when I'm sitting at the on the beach, if waves, they come and break and come and go, come and go, come and go. These waves are coming and going for time infinite. So the substance was never created. So are the modes never created in the past. They are always occurring, and they remain transiently for one samay, and so that's a mode. So origination, cessation, and constancy is the nature of the substance. Which substance? Which existence? All the 6 universal substances, they have the same thing. Matter has the same thing. Medium of motion is the same thing. Medium of rest, space and time, they all have origination, cessation, constancy. So that's the second common thread amongst all the 6 substances. And third one, each substance is the owner of its own attributes and mode. cannot interfere in the other substance of the universe. My mode, my attributes are my property. Mode, an attribute of this substance, belongs to this substance. Attributes and modes of this pencil belongs to this pencil only. Now, the pencil's attributes and modes cannot interfere in the phone's modes and attribute. Same way, my modes and attribute cannot interfere in your mode and attribute. So they all are independent in nature. But each substances, they have their own attributes and modes. How many attributes? Each one has an infinite attribute specific to that particular given substance. Each substance has infinite attributes specific to that given substance, and also there are generalized attributes which are common to all the eternal soul, or all the eternal substances of the universe. So, attributes and modes belongs to a given substance, and they cannot interfere in the other substance of the universe. So, me as a soul, my attribute and modes cannot interfere in Preeti's attributes and modes. They are independent of their own. Everybody has their own attributes and modes. That's the third common thread that we are seeing. Fourth one. Attributes are dependent on their substance. A given attribute does not depend on the other attribute. Now, Acharya Bhagavan tries to tell us that, listen, I have a given soul. I am the soul. I have infinite attributes within me. These infinite attributes, their dependency is on the soul substance. Soul substance makes sure that all the attributes are taken care of. So under the shelter of the soul, all the infinite attributes, they survive. Now, over here, a given attribute within me, like knowledge attribute, does not depend on the faith attribute, and faith attribute does not depend on the conduct attribute. Conduct attribute does not depend on the eternal existence attribute. So all the attributes are independent, and their shelter is the soul substance. Soul substance binds everybody together, but a given attribute does not depend on the other attributes of its own. So this is another differentiation that we have to understand. Remember, when there is a knowledge attribute, purifies. Faith attributes, purifies. Conduct attribute does not have to go along with them. Conduct attribute gets purified partially only. If they are dependent on each other, then conduct attribute also also must get purified completely. But each substance, each attributes are independent of their own, so they won't interfere in somebody else's some other attributes function. So that's a fourth common thing that we are saying. For example, in a matter, let's say a mango. Mango is yellow in color. Does not mean it should be tasty and sweet. Mango is green in color. Doesn't mean it has to be a sour taste only. How many times have you seen green mango and it's the sweetest form? So taste attribute and color attribute, they don't depend on each other. Yes, the whole mango is a substance, and attributes like color, taste, texture, everything depends on this matter substance, like mango in this example. So again, a given attribute does not depend on the other attribute. That's another common feature that we are seeing. Eternity and transiency, nitya anitya. We already talked in the second bullet about that one, that substance and the attributes are eternity in nature and modes are transient in nature. In a given soul substance or a matter substance or medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, each and every substance and their attributes are eternal in nature and modes are transient in nature. Modes are always lasting for one samay only, means one moment only. So that's another thing that we are seeing common. Then there is general and specificity, means samanya and visheshpanu in a given substance. Substance and substance is general in nature, means samanya, and modes are having their own specificity. Mode, one mode cannot be the same as second mode, cannot be same as third mode. Infinite modes pass by and infinite times infinite modes will be coming to me. They are specific in their characteristics and one is not exactly same as other. And this is true in all the substances. Having said that, multiplicity point of view and dialectic relativism, anekantvad, ane syadvad panu. What is this? What is this new words coming now? Anekant. Anekant, we have talked this one before, but we'll just extrapolate a little bit more over here. Multiplicity point of view or anekantvad and dialectic relativism means syadvad. Means what happens over here in the fifth bullet, what did we see? Eternity and transiency are occupying in the same substance at a given time. If I take this time right now, T1, my soul substance is eternal and at the same time my mode is transient in nature. I take T2, time 2. My soul substance is still eternal and my mode is transient. I say T5, T10, T infinity. All the time, eternal soul substance remains eternal and my mode remains transient in nature. So, how can I have eternity and transiency in the same substance at a given time? Well, that is multiplicity point of view. Multiplicity point of view means at a given time, in a given substance, two opposite things are present. Multiplicity point of view, anekantvad, means at a given time, in a given substance, two opposite characteristics to be present. Over here, we have eternity and transiency, or we have generality and specificity. These are the exact opposite thing. They are present in a given moment and in a given substance. If I say this one is eternity and this one is transiency, there are two substances, then this is not multiplicity point of view. This is the very important definition we have to keep in mind for anekantvad, principle of anekant or multiplicity point of view. What is it? At a given time, in a given substance is very important, two exact opposite characteristics to be present, and that is called multiplicity point of view. So I have eternity within me from soul's perspective, and I have transiency within me from modal perspective. I have generality within me from substance perspective, and I have specificity within me from modal perspective. So this is a very fundamental principle of Jainism, multiplicity point of view or anekant. There are three main principles of Jainism. On those three solid pillars, the Jain philosophy stands. One is a non-violence, non-possessiveness, and multiplicity point of view. These are the three strongest pillars for Jain philosophy on which it stands. Several years back, one of my colleague, Dilip Bhai Bobra, he made up an index card and he gave it to everybody at Jain Center. What was it? It was an elevator speech. When you're in the elevator, somebody said, "Oh, are you Jain?" Yes. What does Jainism believes? You have only 30 seconds or 15 seconds to explain to him everything about Jainism. So Jainism is a philosophy which stands on non-violence, non-possessiveness, and multiplicity point of view. And this is in short Jainism that we understand today. So that's a multiplicity point of view. What's a dialectic relativism? Multiplicity point of view is the thing present in a given substance. Multiplicity point of view means at a given time in a given substance, two opposite characteristics residing is multiplicity point of view. And when we are talking about this multiplicity point of view, then it's called Syadvad. Vad means to speak. Syad means from certain perspective. So to speak from certain perspective, that's called Syadvad. In the sense, I have eternity from which perspective? From soul substance perspective. I have transiency within me from what perspective? From modal perspective. When I'm talking things about it, that's called Syadvad. Syad means from certain perspective, Vad means to speak. And ultimately, Syadvad has a Saptabhangi, means 7 different types are there, which is not our subject today. But when we go in the detail in the future, then we'll talk more about it. But somebody catches you and says, "You are Jain, right? What is multiplicity point of view?" You have to say, in a given substance, at a given time, two exact opposite characteristics residing is a multiplicity point of view. Some people erroneously believe that, well, I believe in multiplicity point of view. Christianity is something that I'll accept that one. Jainism is something that I'll accept that one. And Hinduism is something good that that's how I believe in multiplicity point of view. Wherever there's good, I will accept it. That's not what Jainism says about multiplicity point of view. So these are the things we have to really understand, digest, and put it in our mind that we don't bring another substance. We just bring the same substance with two exact opposite things. So much about multiplicity point of view. Let's go to the next one. Next one is a given substance get engrossed with its own attributes and not with the others. I have my infinite attributes within me. You have your infinite attributes within you. This guy has an infinite attributes within it. This pen has an infinite attributes within itself. A given substance get engrossed. Me as a substance get engrossed with my own attributes only, not with anybody else's. I'm not dependent on somebody else's attribute. Even though even when I'm in the lowest form of life, Nigod, that I am engrossed with my own attributes. If I'm a Siddha Bhagwan, I'm engrossed with my own attributes. And in between any kind of living being, he or she or it is, that substance gets engrossed in its own attributes. And this is true for all the substances. This pen is engrossed in its own attribute, pencil is engrossed in its own attribute. So they don't interfere. They don't go somewhere else. The attributes of the substance belong to the same substance. Next one. Different eternal substances have modification within them only and do not get affected by other substances. So now, in this 8th bullet, we just say substance get engrossed in its own attribute. Here it says substance creates its own mode and does not interfere with somebody else's mode. And this is a very, very, very delicate point. Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami really, really, really made this point so microscopically dissected to us and put it in front of us and explained to us that there is independence of all the substances of the universe, the independence of all the attributes in a given substance, and at the same time there is independence of a mode in a given substance. So he gave the tremendous input about independence of a substance, attribute, and even modes. One moment's mode, blink of an eye, innumerable time units pass by. Innumerable means, as we said before, 10 raised to 49 and beyond. That many samay pass by, and each samay there is one modification occurred. So this soul substance created its own innumerable modifications in one blink of an eye. This pen creates its own modification. This pencil creates its own modification. You create your own modification. Every substances are different. All the 6 universal substances, they create their own modification. They create their own paryay. So that's a really the supreme nature of independent nature of soul substance. 10th, one substance cannot do anything to other substance. This is independence of all universe. This is true for all the independent substance of the universe. See, first over here it talked about attribute. Over here it talked about modification. And over here it talks about even a given substance is independent from the other substance of the universe. And that is true from medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, matter and soul, everybody. Then comes, each substance is with one or many forms, ek or anek roop. What is this one now? Ek means, one means, I'm the soul substance. That's it. I'm unique in my own way. I'm unique. I have unity with my own self. So I am I have indivisibility with my infinite modes and infinite attributes. But I'm one. At the same time, when I enter in that soul substance and try to analyze, there are infinite attributes are present, and those infinite attributes, they are having their own specific characteristics, and so that way I have many forms also. Remember this one, ek and anek, one form and many form. It is same as, it goes into multiplicity point of view. How can you be one and how can you have many forms? Well, I have those two exact opposite characteristics present within me. When somebody talks about my soul substance from substance perspective, then I'm one and one only. But when I'm talking from modal perspective as well as attribute perspective, then I have multiple forms within me, infinite forms present within me. So I'm one and I'm many forms, two exact opposite thing. That means it's a multiplicity point of view because it is present in one substance. And that is true for the matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. Everybody has the same thing. Next one. Tat atat. What is tat atat? Soul is there with the embodiment of knowledge. Soul is present with her indivisibility with this knowledge attribute and also the knowledge mode. So that means it's tat means to be, and atat means not to be. To be and not to be are present in a given substance at a given time. When I'm talking about I'm the soul having embodiment of knowledge, means I have tat, to be. Now, I am not there in the objects of knowledge. Soul is not there in the money, family, body, etc. Money, family, body, business, and my wife, and my computer, my books, all those things, they are the object of my knowledge. They are the object. Then I end up knowing them. That's why they are called object. This guy is 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 body is called object. So they are not part of me. Means they are atat, not to be. Be and not to be. Be means I am the soul substance with embodiment of knowledge, means I have the existence within me. And money, family, body, friends, everything, they are object of my knowledge, and they are not part of me. So tat atat, again, tat atat means to be and not to be will be part of the multiplicity point of view, because soul is tat from knowledge perspective, and soul is atat from money, family, body perspective. Tat and atat both are present in a given soul substance at a given time, and that's why it's called multiplicity point of view. Multiplicity point of view mainly is considered when that two exactly opposite characteristics are present in a given substance. This is not only the definition of multiplicity point of view. There is another definition also. I have an infinite attributes within me, and each attribute does its own specific work. Knowledge attribute does the work of knowing. Faith attributes does the work of faith. Conduct attribute does the function of conduct. Eternal existence continues to do its work of eternal existence. All these attributes have their own specific work. So in a given substance, multiple amount of attributes present, they keep on doing their work. That is also called multiplicity point of view. But that definition is not that much popular. Why? Because other philosophies also believe that attributes can be present in a soul substance, and they can do their own separate work also. So how come Jainism is separating from the other philosophies? From the two exact opposite characteristics present in a given substance, that is strongest form of multiplicity point of view definition, and that entirely separates Jain philosophy from any other philosophy of the world. So there are two definitions, but the one that we put forward is two exact opposite characteristics present in a given substance is called multiplicity point of view. Same thing, sat atatru, sat asatru. Each substance is present due to the self. Sat does not exist due to other substance, asat. Sat asat is also present in every substance of the universe. And the last one we have, let me move this guy out. Last one, each substance is in common as well as specific attributes, samanya and vishesh gun. When we go to the specific attributes and common attributes of this substance, we'll be talking a lot more about it. But in general, I'm the soul substance, so I have certain attributes are specific to soul related only. like knowledge, matter. Certain attributes are present specifically for matter only, like touch, taste, smell, seeing, hearing, like those kind of attributes is for the matter. Same is for the medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. They have their own specific attributes. But there are also common attributes. What are the common attributes? That, as we saw, eternal existence is a common attribute, original cessation, constancy is common attribute, and all these things are called common attribute. So they are specific attribute, infinite in number, common attribute, infinite in number. So this is the way their generality in knowledge of all the universal substances that we know about. Why do I have to know all these things? Well, this is my basic foundation stone I'm putting for knowing substance and soul substance. Substance in general, then specifically soul substance. And all these things, they're just kind of a preview right now. And each one, when it unfolds by itself, it will give a lot more detailed explanation as and when we progress further into the deeper into those characteristics. So these are the common things. There are 14 common things that we found it out. Now, this next several slides basically are talking the same thing. So they are all 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12. 13, 14, all 14 things that we talk in the end of bullet form over here. Now, by knowing this generality in all 6 universal substances, what do I learn? What do I get? So, what do I gain out of it? Well, what do I gain? Number 1, besides my own soul substance, I do not have any inherent relationship with any other substances of the universe. Means I'm the soul substance, I'm separate from matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. I know that part. But at the same time, I'm also entirely separate from your soul substance. So each and every soul substance are independent in nature. Each and every matter, atomic particles are independent by its own way. Medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they are independent. They don't have inherent relationship with any other substance of the universe. Everybody is independent. My area of influence is within my own sphere of action. My action occurs within me. It's not because you made me become angry or you made me become greedy. No. To become greedy, to become angry, to become deceitful, to become egoistic, all those things are my area of influences within my sphere of action. Nobody can make me go crazy. Why should I say that because of you, I'm getting into trouble? Remember, we are talking very basic Jain principle. We have not scratched even the surface of this spirituality. And right away, I know that my area of influence is in my own sphere of action and nobody can interfere, and vice versa. I cannot interfere in somebody else's sphere of action. That means tomorrow my child wakes up late and late for the school. I shouldn't wake him up. I shouldn't do anything to him. No, I have to do it. I have to do my work. But because I woke up my child, that's why he woke up. That's why he went to school, because I dropped him. No, that is kind of going out of this my own sphere of action. I cannot do anything to anybody. I'm simply, my child is getting late. I simply, at that time, my own soul has decided to be in the form of inclination in which I thought of waking the child up. That's it. My job is over there. Child wakes up or doesn't wake up, it's his own sphere of action. That doesn't mean I shouldn't make sandwich for him. I should do the work, but I should not take credit that because of me as a mother or because of me as a father, my child is growing up. No, that's not, that inclination should be taken out. That kind of wrong notion should be taken out. Continue doing same thing. You continue doing your job. You continue raising your family. You maintain your spousal relationship. But I have my sphere of action. You have your sphere of action. It sometimes it matches, sometimes it doesn't match. So what? I did my job. I did my job. That's all I have to think about. Then no one can interfere in my existence. Oh, doctor, if you are not there, I could have been dead. Well, if you are supposed to be dead, you would have been dead. It's not because of a doctor that you are existing. Your existence is predestined, pre-decided. It's decided the moment you took a birth. It was decided how long, how many years you are going to live and how you are going to die. It is all predetermined. So nobody can interfere in my existence. Likewise, I cannot interfere in the other substances' existence also. Other substances has its own independence too. I, as soul, get engrossed within me only. Only the thing I can do is getting engrossed within me, my true nature. That's all I can do basically. I cannot perform any activity of any non-living body or any living body. I cannot function, I cannot do any activity for anybody. I do my own. These are the several points that we learn from knowing the universe and knowing the 6 universal substances in general. And that comes to the end of our chapter on general soul substance. That what is this universe made up of? Substances. What are those substances? That's what we talked for last 9 classes. Now that is, we are going to go to the next chapter. We just talk about substances in general. Now we'll take specific substance. We'll take a soul, then take a matter, medium of motion, medium of race, space and time. And descending amount from the soul down to time, we just have importance. The descending importance is there in each substances, starting from soul. Soul has the greatest importance. Second great importance is matter. Then medium of motion, medium of race, space and time. They become kind of, they're non-reactive. They're pure in nature. There is nothing much more to talk about it. So if we can understand soul substance and matter substance, then medium of motion, medium of race, space and time will be very easy to understand. So now we are going to go to the next set of slides. I'll take these slides out and bring the next slides. Let me bring the other slide now. So, where is soul? Substance. Okay, we'll start from this and then I'll do the sharing. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so now we are starting second part, that we are going to talk about 6 substances in their own characteristics. So now 6 substances. First one is soul, we know that. Second is matter, means soul is jiv, matter is pudgal. Medium of motion, for short version, I read an MOM. It's not mom, it's a medium of motion. Medium of motion. The next is medium of rest, space and time. Jeev, Pudgal, Dharmastikai, or Dharmastikai, Akash, and Kal. There are 6 universal substances are there, out of which we are talking about soul substance now. What is called soul substance? What is its unique characteristics that I should know about? Soul substance is having consciousness. Consciousness is its greatest attribute of a soul substance. Consciousness, Chaitanya. Chaitanya attribute is a very, very important characteristics of a soul substance, and that will divide soul from other substances. This pen does not have consciousness. This pencil does not have consciousness. This phone, even though it is doing tons and tons of work, but it's a matter, it has no consciousness. So, soul is a substance. I have 6 substances present over here. How do I determine what is the soul substance? I go to the fruit shop and I want to buy the apple, and when I go there, the apple are there, oranges are there, pears are there, berries are there, grapes are there. How do I know that what is an apple? Well, their characteristics are there, specific characteristics, and that way I find it out that a given substance is soul. Soul substance is having consciousness. That means consciousness, that means Chaitanya. Chaitanya, that means Gnan and Darshan. The 2 words will be interchangeable many times. We'll use the word consciousness, means Chaitanya, or we'll just say Gnan and Darshan, knowledge and perception. So knowledge, perception together is called consciousness. Chaitanya has 2 things, Gnan and Darshan. So these are the things that we have to know. What is knowledge? What is perception? When I generally perceive a thing, when I just do the general nature of perception, this is called perception. And knowledge means there is a specific knowledge occurring. For example, there is a crowd gathered today. Let's say President of USA is coming to my town, and there are thousands of people got together. How many people are present? 1,000. Many people are present. Many. Just to have just perception, many people are present. But wait a second, how many? How many men, how many women? Well, half are men, half are women, and 10% could be children, 20% could be adult, older people, half people were white, half were black. All the specificity that I do is called knowledge. General perception, a crowd is present. That's a perception. How many people are there? What nationality they are there? What language they speak? How many women? How many men? How many old? How many young? All those things belongs to knowledge. Knowledge knows specifically. Perception knows generally. So generalized perception and specific knowledge combined together is called Chaitanya. Chetna, Chaitanya, consciousness. Now, so the other way of saying consciousness is a characteristic of a given soul, because if I see a consciousness, that means I know that there is a soul present. When there is a soul present, then I know there is consciousness present. So they both are interchangeable. Means consciousness means soul, soul means consciousness. Atma means Gnan, Gnan means Atma. Now, this is now we'll be using lots of references. Just these references are just meant for, if you want to do further study, there are references there, so you should just go through it. And if not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in future, This is given in Jain Siddhant Prashnottar Mala. There's a book. Where is the book? It should be over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's this book, Jain Siddhant Prashnottar Mala, and you can download from vitragvani.com or atmadharma.com. These books are available for free download, and there is a two parts. Part first has a question number 5, and it says, what is soul? I'll read the question number 5 and see. જીવ દ્રવ્ય કોને કહે છે? જેમાં ચેતના અર્થાત જ્ઞાન દર્શન રૂપ શક્તિ હોય તેને જીવ દ્રવ્ય કહે છે. What do we call consciousness? Consciousness means knowledge and perception attributes present. That is called consciousness, and that's characteristic of the soul substance. Then there is a Hindi version over here. If you don't want to read, you don't need to read. जो जीता है, उपयोगमय है, अमूर्तिक है, करता है, स्वदेह प्रमाण है, भोक्ता है, संसारस्थ है, सिद्ध है और स्वभाव से ऊर्ध्वगमन करने वाला है, वह जीव है. Now, this is Brahad Dravya Sangra, stanza 2, that is giving this kind of definition to us. What does it say? Soul substance has a characteristics. What are the characteristics soul substance has it? Well, soul substance is alive with his consciousness element. So that is a soul substance, one characteristics. This soul has an attentive consciousness. Upyog, this is a new word coming. We have to understand that new word. It's very, very important word. We have to understand the definition, and it has to be, even middle of night, somebody wakes you up from the sleep and says, what's the definition of upyog? What's the definition of attentive consciousness? You have to speak just like that, even in the sleep. It should be at the subcortical level present in your mind. Upyog. Upyog is a very important word, means attentive consciousness. What does it mean? I know it's not our subject today, but it is good to just understand that definition, because that word is going to come several times in this class, today and next week. Soul as a substance has knowledge as one of the attribute, and this knowledge attribute has a modification occurring every moment. Soul substance, knowledge attribute, and that knowledge attribute has a mode occurring every samay. So this mode, knowledge mode, coming from knowledge attribute, coming from all knower soul substance, this knowledge mode is called upyog. We'll define again. Soul substance, knowledge attribute, and its mode, knowledge mode. It's called upyog. Now, we can also say soul substance, perception attribute, and its mode is also called upyog. But generally, when we just talk about upyog, we talk upyog from the knowledge perspective. Majority of the time, almost 95-99% of the time, when we say upyog, means knowledge related. And that's why our definition, what we are making, soul substance, knowledge attribute, and its which modification occurring in one moment. Knowledge mode occurring from the knowledge attribute, from the eternal all-knower soul substance, is called upyog. It's called attentive consciousness. So this definition you have to remember. It will come again and again and again. Now, Soul has a characteristic of non-corporeal. Non-corporeal means amurta. Amurta means it has no form. This pen has a specific form that I can see. This pencil has a specific form I can see. Soul has no form that I can perceive by any of my senses. Touch, taste, smell, seeing, hearing, out of all the five senses, I cannot perceive the soul substance. It's because it's non-corporeal in nature, amurta. Then soul substance is doing some activity. Because it's a substance, as a soul substance, it keeps on doing some activity. That means it's a doer. Those who are well read, those who want to know a little bit more detail, just look at the Chha Padma Patra from Srimad Rajchandra Ji, and third step. First step, Srimad Rajchandra Ji said, 6 steps. Soul is Atma Che, Atma Nitya Che, Atma Karta Che, Atma Bhokta Che, Mokshe, Moksha Upaya Che. There are 6 steps, 6 paths, 6 principles. Soul is there, soul is eternal in nature, soul is a doer, soul is an enjoyer, liberation is there, and there's a path to liberation. There are 6 principles are laid out there, out of which the third one is a karta. And there is a deep, 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 deep meaning in the 4 lines that Kripaludev has written down. But there's a deep meaning is there. Anyway, so a soul is doer means every moment it keeps on doing some kind of activity. Whether it's a alien related activity, means per padarth related activity, or it could be related to the self, but some form of activity keeps on going no matter what in the soul substance. Now this soul substance in a transmigratory soul, the soul's size is the same as a physical body. If this soul is in the ant, it will be that much small in size. If that soul is in bacterial form or viral form, it will be teeny tiny form. And the same soul will be the elephant's body, it will be size of the elephant's body. So in transmigratory soul, the soul's size is same as a physical body. Atma is enjoyer. Here we just said Atma is doer, Atma karta che, Atma bhokta che. Atma is enjoyer, its own fruit. If I did bad things, I will suffer the consequences. I did good auspicious deed today, I will enjoy the fruits of that labor in the future. So soul is an enjoyer. And this also is there in a Srimad just later there. Maybe if you, what I'll do at the end of it, I have the English version of it. I'll send it out that 6 principles later that Kripalu they wrote down. It's fantastic. It's really good. And it's good to remember by heart also. It's really nice. Then, so in the transmigratory state, soul keeps on going from one realm of existence to second, to third, to fourth. I'm the human, I can go to animal life, I can go to plant life, I can go to infernal life, I can go to celestial life. All those transitory things I keep on doing in my transmigratory state as a soul. And if I'm liberated, then I'm a siddha. I'm free of any karmic particle. So that's a characteristic of soul. These are the things can be present in a given soul. And this soul has a capacity to move upwards. When this soul gets liberated, let's presume right now that we all get liberated today at this moment, then our soul, the soul becomes free of karma particle And soul has a capacity to move upward. And that's why within one samay, soul will go from this one right on the top of the universe. Those of you who went to Samet Sikhar this yatra this December with Gurudev Sri Rakesh Bhai, what did you do? You went to Samet Sikhar. That is called the eternal liberation place for Tirthankar Bhagwan. Eternal liberation place means all the Tirthankar Bhagwan will go to moksha from that place only. In this time cycle, 4 Bhagwans, they went from different places. Mahavir Swami went from Pavapuri, Vasupuja went from Champapuri, Naminath went from Girnar, and Rishabdev went from Kailash. But remaining 20 Tirthankars, they went to moksha from that Samet Sikhar. And what happens when the soul was sitting there? Remember that you already witnessed the small little temples with the footprints only. What was it? Bhagwan was standing and or sitting in that place, and from there he went to moksha. And in one summer he went to moksha. So now you look up and just say, that's where Santinath Bhagwan is sitting. That's where Mahavishwa, that's where the Parshad Bhagwan is sitting. So soul has a capacity to go upward when it's free. So these are the things. It is written in Brahad Dravya Sangraha, stanza number 2, about definition of the soul. See Brahad Dravya Sangraha, stanza number 2. So these are the things that from different angle we are dissecting the definition of a soul right now, you know. I think time is up, so I wanted to finish lots of things, but it didn't happen as usual. But any questions if you have, let's take that one.
Kripa, I would appreciate the recording of this one uploaded, because I'd like to go through it again.
No problem. I'll send it out right away, okay? Yeah. Any other questions?
You were going to give that Chapadno Patra Kripadevano.
Yes, I will send it out also along with the Dropbox link. I'll send it out Kripadev Chapadno Patra, Gujarati and English version both, okay?
Wonderful.
All right. Okay, all right. Let's do the closing. Javani ke gyan se suje lokalo, sovani mastaka namo sada deta hu da. 9 times Namo ka mantra. Jai Jinendra. Thank you.
Jai Jinendra, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next week, okay?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you, okay?
Jai Jinendra, bye.
Bye, Jai Jinendra.